Hey guys, welcome back to Aquarium. In this video I want to talk about 5 alternatives to setting up your aquarium and things you can use to save yourself some money when you first get started. So let's get it. So first handy tip I have is with filtration. A lot of people when they buy their first aquarium might buy the kit. They come with filtration, which is super handy. Other people might just have picked up a second-hand aquarium with no filtration. A lot of people opt for hang on the backs like this one. Super great filters. Only downfall I find with these that scare a lot of people off is they come with cartridges that slip into the hang on the back like so. A lot of these cartridges are set up so that you have to replace after a month or so and keep going back to buy replacement cartridges. Handy tip to get rid of them: throw them away as soon as you get them. Great one, sponges that you can buy from your local $2 shop or just supermarket. This one here is a coarse one. I'll just cut the coarse parts off the front of that sponge and just use the soft parts. Obviously use them new, don't use used ones. Straight out of the packet, give them a rinse under water and then they're good to go. And you can chuck them straight in till you hang on the back and look at all that room with that cartridge gone. The second one for biological filtration would be lava rocks. Now you can get large bags of these from your aquarium shop, or you can go down to your local DIY hardware store and they'll sell large bags of these as well. These guys are reasonably small, but if you get the larger ones, go out with a hammer and chisel and you can break them right up, and imagine how much you can fit in a hang on the back with those cartridges gone, and saves you having to go back down to the shop and refilling cartridges every couple of months. Handy tip: if you are younger, please use a parent or guardian if you're going to opt with the lava rock to put in the hang on the backs to give you a hand just to break them up. Okay, tip number 2 is heaters. If you don't want to run a heater, the best way I found to not run heaters is to put your fish tanks in a room that stay at a consistent temperature. If you can keep your room to a consistent temperature, it'll allow you not to be able to use heaters. I still use heaters in my aquariums. As you know, all my aquariums are in the living room. I have a front door right near the aquariums. The back door's just opposite the front door, and I have traffic in and out of the house consistently, so the temperature does fluctuate a lot in my lounge room, so I still run heaters in those tanks. The room stays at the moment at 19.5 obviously degrees Celsius. I can raise that obviously if I like with the heat pump, or lower it depending on the temperature, and then the heaters will just pick up the leftovers in between. Say the discus are running at 28, the flower horn's running at 26, and these guys here are running at about 26 and a half, 27, so they're sort of in between. But the heaters will pick up the difference between the room temperature and what these guys need to be running at. If you can have your tanks in a climate that stays consistent and run that room at that temperature, you're going to get away with not using heaters, which will save you a lot of money in the long run when it comes to heating rooms. Obviously I don't have heaters in my 2 White Cloud Mountain minnow tanks. Those guys are cold water. They sit at room temperature, which at the moment is about 19.5 degrees. But always remember, if you're going to take this avenue and going to try and heat the room, always research twice, stock once. Make sure you know what the ideal temperatures are for the fish you're wanting to keep, and that you can maintain that room temperature to allow you not to run heaters. Number 3 is for dechlorinators. If you don't or want to get around using dechlors, check with your local council, municipality. These guys will tell you what your town water contains and how much it does contain. If you're lucky enough that it only contains chlorine, handy tip is to grab a bucket and fill your bucket with water and let it sit for 24 to 48 hours. That will off-gas and get rid of that chlorine, and then you can add it to your tank without needing to use dechlors. Second one's chloramine. That one there's a lot more stable and a lot harder to get rid of. So if you do have chlorine and chloramine, you probably will have to go with the dechlor to get rid of that chloramine. If you're lucky enough to be on well water, well, I'm super jealous. You don't need dechlor at all. There is no chloramine or chlorine in well water. It's all natural, and I'm super jealous. I'd love to live in somewhere that runs off well water. That'd be amazing. Now, buckets, you might be thinking buckets, okay, well, what's this 20 litre bucket? Not sponsored. And you've got, say, a 680 litre tank like I do behind me. Hence why I use dechlors. It's just too much water to store and try and keep it room temperature to change into the tank. If you have little 60s or 40 litre tanks, these are going to be great for you. You can do just above 50% water change, and it's going to be fine at room temp, even if your tank runs at 26 degrees. Just changing a quarter of that tank water isn't going to affect the fish too much, so you're going to save there. If you do want to if you do want to run big tanks and you still want to go with this option, IBCs may be an option if you can keep them at reasonable room temperature, or you want to run more consistent smaller water changes, then you won't need to heat as much. Tip number 4 for getting started with the aquariums, or rocking into your second or third or fourth if you've got the multi-tank addiction, as I do and a lot of people do. This one's a cracker. I've done a small video on this one. Check that out. But it's the Pope tap adapter. This thing is amazing. I don't off-gas water. I go straight from the tap and dechlor my water. I don't run buckets anymore. If you want to get away from buckets, this is a great tip. You get these at any of your commercial hardware stores, cheap DIY hardware stores. They are awesome. This one's from a brand Pope here in Australia, but all it is a little adapter. Focus, 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 and it clips on. There we go. Unclip there. There's the top of my tap there. I've just left that on and unscrewed it. Push up onto your tap, release, and it'll lock, and then you can attach your hose to the bottom and start refilling your tanks through a hose to your tank. Allows you to run hoses to your tank straight from your sink and fill up multiple tanks, or just that one tank that you have, without having to cart water back and forward, which is great for me too, as I've obviously said previously, all my tanks are in the house and the last thing I want is water splashing everywhere consistently. So great tip. If you want to know more about this one, check out the video earlier on my channel. So the last one, number 5, it's not so much an alternative as it's more of an addition, but yeah, it sort of works both ways. You get your new tank and all of a sudden you realise that you're getting really busy. You're busy with work, personal life, etc, 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 and things get away. Your tank lights are still on. You're stressing, you're at work or wherever you may be, and you know that your lights have been on for 12, 14 hours, and you're stressing out because you don't know when you're going to get home or if you can get home to turn them off. Hey, got a good solution. Timers, awesome things. These you can get from your local hardware stores as well. Hey, who would have thought aquariums, your local hardware store, is super handy. They have heaps of cool stuff. that helps us with our fish hobby. These guys here, set for a timer, set them for 8, 12, whatever you may like, whatever you want to run with how your aquariums are set up. And these guys are going to turn them on and turn them off at the same time. Super handy. Recommend getting these if you do get tied up or you want aquariums but you're worried that you live a busier life and won't be able to get back home as quick as you may be. Hey, turn the corner now. You got aquarium timers for your lights. Perfect. There you go, guys. Just a couple of handy tips I hope that you can take on board and will help you when you first get started or head out to grab your first or maybe second aquarium as you grab the multi-tank bug, as a lot of us have. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great week. Enjoy yourselves. I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.